Okay, so one chick was living in the past. You walked into a area and you have no idea where you're going, and all you can see is a couple feet ahead of you. I guess I'm trying to put some sense to this. I don't know. And now I'm exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay. The great and lovely descent. Ooh, pretty house. This is the land of nothing. Until you build a house that's got a really bad roof. And why does it look like I'm...
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The what, fool? I can't.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Ah! And I fell. At least I landed on something. I suppose a jump, maybe. Oh, stairs. Stairs are always a good thing. Well, not always, but sometimes. Oh! I missed the stairs. I climbed my stairs anyhow. And more stairs. It does stairs really well. God, this place looks like my... It actually looks like movie theaters. I don't know why it made me think of that. There. Over there you see... Die Hard. Die Harder. Uh-oh. I want off. Don't let me get off. Oh.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
And how
if you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
How did you know that?
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
That sounds
I
boring.
played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Really? Can't go into that theater, it's closed off. There's another set of stairs. What's up here? Can't go in there either, it's closed off? Okay. This guy didn't make games, he just made walking simulators. Well, this is just plain weird. Okay. Well, at least we know where all the ground went. That's the ground from the other game. Okay.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
You have to keep reaching back to go forward. You made that a whole game. So there's got to be something with that, maybe? I don't know. Ooh, pretty.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Prison I spent hours in. Okay. Did you get through the puzzle, 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. We've just met. I don't know who you are. Huh? Okay. Okay. You must escape this prison. There is no ending. Well, I guess I move on since there's nothing else to do. Oh, look, more people. I've been here the whole time. What? Who are you? Anyhow, I'm just curious. This is really weird. These people is crazy.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. And what? We're back at the prison, maybe? This guy's not real happy. Ooh, pretty.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go,
I would hope so.
That idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
You say so, huh? Okay. Now I'm confused. Doesn't take a lot nowadays. This game is connected to the internet. Okay. Pretty. But it's a nice room. Got pretty floors. Very angry people, apparently. They're not very friendly.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. all of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect,
Okay.
I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Okay.
But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Okay. That's just... Okay. How much more of this do I have to endure? Okay, so these speech bubbles are all speech bubbles he put in of possibly things that he's seen or heard or read or people have told him. What? Go to the bathroom then. Yeah. Sounds like a guy that's waiting for... Yeah, okay. Interesting. Close door, cannot open door, thanks. Yeah, how you open a door? Okay. You didn't want to go in that door anyhow. Okay. That actually is more true than anybody wants to admit. Nobody does anything they don't want to do. Just say it. What is all this crap? This guy's got some issues, that's for sure. No, I'm not gonna read all these. Okay, I need someone to talk to. That's like the second or third time I've seen that. At least the second. Why do you not feel safe? Why do you not feel safe? You cannot fall off. Or you can jump, but you just can't. Okay. Oh, that's a pretty drawing. Okay. Very, So Since these are all his things, these are all his thoughts. What's his terrible secret? Did he kill his mother and then eat her or something?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
With the whispers. There are notes in the real world. It's called geotagging. Google Earth.
In each of his games,
Diggy
after
hole,
exploring a
diggy
theme
diggy
that,
hole.
he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Okay. Really?
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Not really. Am I supposed to be feeling something here other than really sad for this poor guy that's really depressed? There's the plant post. And the corporate world all just working away, typing and typing. And none of them are actually moving. So he's very, very lonely, I get it.